Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with an Sparta. What if Naruto was the neglected prodigy? Well, I hope that you guys are enjoying this series. So, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video to come on, guys, please subscribe to my channel. It will really help me a lot as I want to reach 10k as quick as possible, and I have already reached 8.3k subscribers. So please guys subscribe to my channel. It will not take that much of your time and it will really helpful to me. So please guys do so. And yeah, without any further ado, let us start our video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto was, you can say, finally Minato and Kushina realizes their mistake after Orochimaru explained things as they try their best, or rather their best was not that much to begin with, to, you can say, make a bond with their previous son, but in the end it was not that great as Kushina finally go to Minato telling him that how she wants to be, you can say, the part of the Team 7, as Minato Sai finally, you can say, came to the decision that Naruto is going to be the part of the Team 7, as well as, you can say, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno and Manman Mito. Though Manman Mito were not happy whatsoever that the loser and a failure was in their team, as they were thinking that how they are the best, even though it was the result of the final exam, of the graduation exam was in front of them, but they refused to believe it. Not wanting to believe that the failure which their parents considered nothing to begin with, not even worth their training, not even worth their attention, was now getting the attention which they truthfully deserve, as they did not like the idea whatsoever, as they were not happy about it. While on the other hand, Naruto was, you can say, enjoying his time with Narumi, his little sister, which was 7 years old, as Naruto finally decided to teach her about chakra and different type of things, as Naruto being a prodigy himself. So he was able to realize that how much a prodigy Narumi actually was. And yeah guys, without any further ado, let's start our video. As Minato Sai, as Ambu was in front of him telling him about the council meeting which is going on, as Minato said, alright, as he went off. Now let us go to the council room, as all the clan heads as well as civilian council was there arguing about different things, as door opened, as they looked towards the door, as Yellow Flash, Minato, Namikaze, the fourth Hokage entered, as everyone bowed to Minato a little bit out of respect, as Minato took his seat. As he saw, clearly irritated by these turn of events and those type of things, as then as Minato looked towards them and said, alright, let this council meeting begin. Can I ask you why you guys have summoned this council meeting once again without my permission? As you can say, some of the Shinobi council and civilian council members were a bit, you can say, disturbed about this, as then one of the elders stood up and said, well, Lord Hokage, we are the one who have summoned this council meeting about a urgent matter we have just discovered. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that. And what will that matter be, Haruno? As Hamura, as he nodded and said, well, Lord Hokage, but before he could, you can say, explain anymore, Danzo speak up. Well, allow me the honors, Lord Hokage. We have just received the information about your son. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that, as he said, what are you talking about, Danzo? As Danzo said, well, nothing much. As I am talking about your older son, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. As Minato already know that where this meeting is actually going on, as most of the people were surprised, as it has been really long time that they have heard about that gate and all the parties that went into the Namikaze and Uzumaki state. That gate was never there, so it was like a distant memory to even to them. As Minato flinched a little and said, what about it? As Danzo smirked inwardly, so all the information he got from the route was exact. As he said, well, nothing much, Lord Hokage. We have heard that how much of a prodigy he actually was. We just want to know that. Who trained him? As Minato narrowed his eyes at Danzo, knowing that where he's at playing at. As he said, well, about his training and all, that is secret, Danzo. I cannot tell you. As Danzo simply shook his head, well, Lord Hokage, we have received disturbing news. Thanks to the reports that Orochimaru's son, one of the Sannin, has given to you, as well as in the official records. He is a risk. As at this, most of the, you can say, Shinobi Council and the Civilian Council were surprised. Hokage's son, a flight risk, but how? As Minato was now getting angry at Danzo, knowing that where this war hawk was going at. As he said, well, And he was even wondering how did Danzo got the reports to begin with. He was not happy about this, you can say, progress whatsoever. As Danzo said, well, according to the reports, we were given that you did not train your oldest son. As a matter of fact, you train only the Jinchurikis so that they can become, you can say, strong shinobis. Though I agree with the progress and all, it is only, you can say, we understand that how Manuel and Mito are far important than Naruto to you as well as to this village. As Minato was now getting angry as Danzo was speaking in a taunting manner, as implying that Minato was making weapons out of his children so that he can use them for the village's sake. As Minato was not liking this conversation, as most of the Shinobi Council were also surprised. Yeah, they never, you can say, heard about the kid and never saw him when they were in the, you can say, Minato's house at birthday parties or different occasions, but they never paid it any mind whatsoever. But hating that, Minato did not train his oldest son, his heir, and then, while on the other hand, he trained only the Jinchurikis, as this got a bit of less respect in the side of Shinobi Council to Minato, as Minato knew that, as he said, and how did you get this information, Danzo? As Danzo laughed, as he said, well, Lord Hokage, you know that we are shinobi and we never reveal our resources. Well, that is beside the point. According to the reports that Orochimaru-san has given us, it has been clear that Uzumaki Naruto has not been living in your compound for at least 5 years. This surprises Shinobi Council as well as Civilian Council even further, as they were not expecting secrets like these to be revealed, as Minato was now glaring at Danzo openly, as he did not like this man whatsoever. He just wanted to get rid of him, but it was only because of Third Hokage. He let this man roam free, and now he's regretting it dearly, as Danzo is smirking inwardly now. The respect that Minato has, he's playing at that so that he can drop that respect, and he knows that Minato will not let him. Naruto has in his route, but it's not hurt to try, right? As he said, well, according to the reports that we have received, you did not train your son, Naruto, but our question is, how did he get so strong? Was he getting trained by some other shinobis? We do not know. Or could it be that after your neglection to him, at this, most of the Shinobi Council was now looking towards Minato, who was feeling a bit, you can say, disturbed by this progress and all. Has some other enemy shinobis has been training him or something like that? We just want to know that. How did he get so strong to begin with? As Minato gritted his teeth as he said, well, Naruto is a prodigy, as I can see, as well as I may not have trained him and I do regret it as decision back then, but still he was able to learn. And if you are asking me that how did he get so strong, then here are the reports. As Danzo was pretty surprised as a report as Minato slammed his hand, and then in a puff of smoke a scroll appeared as he threw it into the Shikaku Nara. Shikaku Nara grabbed it as Minato looked towards him, opened the scroll and mind reading it about it, as Shikaku said troublesome, as he opened the reports and started to read. As he said, well, according to this investigation done by your own arm boost, it seemed that Uzumaki Naruto has been going to the library in the form of an hench sometime, and after that he befriended the librarian and got different scrolls, not the shinobi scrolls since he was not shinobi, and he has been pointed in the training grounds as well. It seemed that according to this report and all, Naruto just learned all that he knows about different jutsus and all. He just learned it by seeing different people performing it and gaining whatever knowledge he can get from the library and all. To be honest, pretty impressive. If this kid can learn things on his own at this magnitude, as Danzo is saying at, then he truly is a prodigy. As Minato was pretty proud of his son, even though it hurt him pretty bad that he had no hand in the progress of Naruto. As Danzo gritted his teeth, he was hoping that how he can put the, you can say, doubt in the minds of the Shinobi Council and the members there, but this got even more bad. But still, he got one of his objectives so that he can, you can say, get the respect in the side of Shinobi and the Council drop to Minato. As Danzo said, "Oh really, Hokage? You want us to believe that that kid learned everything on his own just by seeing different shinobis?" As Minato smirked, he knew that Danzo was getting at as he said, "Well, these are the reports done by most of the top launch people such as Ibiki, Orochimaru, as well as many other shinobis, and on the, you can say, occasion, there was no one to teach him the Rasengan, but he knows it." At this, most of the people were surprised. Many of them knew most of the difficult techniques to ever learn. Not even Sharingan can copy it. It's Rasengan. As Danzo gritted his teeth, already knowing that he has lost the argument. If the kid can learn the Rasengan on his own, then he can definitely learn any jutsu by just looking at it and observing it even further. As then Danzo simply nodded at that. As then he was about to call off the meeting, but then suddenly Minato said, "Well, actually, I wanted to discuss some other things as well." As this time he looked towards the civilian council, who gulped a little as they had a bad feeling about it. As Minato said, "I have been getting reports as well as several investigations being done. It seems that you guys have been going after my son. So would you like to explain it?" With a smile on his face. But most of the people knew better. As one of the civilian council members showed up. "Well, Lord Hokage, you already know that he's a demon." But before he could complete his sentence, several armbos were on his throat. As he looked towards Minato, "What is the meaning of this, Lord Hokage?" As then Minato's eyes narrowed towards him with an icy glare as he said, "Well, I have been given reports that you are one of them who are leading the mobs as well as spread several rumors, and we have proof of that. So you, along with," as he looked towards several council members as several ambu landed beside them as Danzo was gritting his teeth. Those were the loyal civilian members he put in the council so that he can get the influence on that. But Minato was playing at that, already knowing that. As he said, "Hokage, you cannot do this without any put." But before he could complete his sentence, another file was on his face as he grabbed it, as he opened it and started to read it as he gritted his teeth. These were the crimes these people have done on different occasions as well, as he said. "Not only hurting Naruto, which is the son of Hokage, calling him a demon despite my law, and on top of it, doing these crimes, you guys have been arrested, and you are going to have a pretty good visit to Ibiki." As all of them pale at that, as Danzo gritted his teeth, even both elders were angry about this. They were hoping that they can drop the respect from Minato as well as and hoping to get that prodigy in their side. But it turns out that they have lost several members as they gritted their teeth on that. As the civilian council member was screaming that how he's just a demon and he deserved all those beatings and all. But Minato did not listen whatsoever, and all of them were on Ibiki. As Minato said, "Alright, now this meeting is adjourned." As he showed up as a smirk and went off in a yellow flash, as Danzo outwardly was pretty calm, but inside he was fuming in pure anger. This meeting should have been in his favor. His Danzo deserved to be Hokage, not that brat. As he gritted his teeth as he went off, while on the other hand, Shinobi Council were pretty surprised. Some of them felt a bit bad about the kid and all, how Minato actually neglected him and all. Even they felt bad. After all, they went to his home pretty much. But still, they thought they always, what you can say, like fanboys over Menma and Mito, as they were feeling a bit of guilt as well, but they put that aside and went off to their regular homes. And now let us go to the side of Naruto, as Team 7 was assembled, as Kakashi, Kushina, along with, you can say, Menma, Mito, Sasuke, Sakura, as well as Naruto were this team, as all the members were there. Kushina has finally dragged Kakashi there, as you can say, Kushina was there, not Kakashi, as well as Menma, Mito, Sasuke and Sakura, and Kakashi as well as Kushina was fuming in anger, as where was Kakashi, as she didn't like Kakashi coming late whatsoever, while on the other hand Mito was also screaming, saying that how that lazy bastard is not there, as Sakura speak up, "Yeah, not the baka is also late, he's just trying to be cool," as much Sasuke-kun, as she looked towards Sasuke, who was brooding, as Mito scoffed, as he said, Stay away from my Sasuke-kun, Sakura," forehead. as both of them started to argue with each other. As Mita was also, you can say, a fangirl of Sasuke, who was simply brooding. As while on the other hand, Menma was also saying, mom, it seems that the loser has finally realized that he has no place in the shinobi course and must have distracted, I bet that he's the Hokage office, saying that he does not have skills to be a shinobi. As a smirk at that, as Kushina sighed, she did not like the attitude of Menma whatsoever. He was way too much arrogant for her taste. As she said, Menma, that is enough. You and I both know that that is not the case. And last time I checked, he was the rookie of the year. As this got Menma even more angry, as he said, damn it, that title belongs to me, mom. And he's nothing but a loser. Before Kushina could say anything, there was a poof of smoke, and then Kakashi arrived. As then Kushina looked towards Kakashi. Kakashi, where were you? As Kakashi simply scratched the back of his head by looking towards his book. Well, I lost on the road of life. As before she could say anything, there was another puff of smoke, and finally Naruto arrived. As Sakura looked towards Naruto as well as Mito. Naruto, baka, where were you? As Naruto looked towards both of them, and then Kushina said, hey Naruto-kun, where were you? You were late 3 hours by glaring at Kakashi. As wondering that if Kakashi is rubbing on Naruto to be like him, and Naruto was still reading the same book as he looked towards both of them, as he said, I was behind Kakashi sensei. It seemed that he was lost on the road of life, so I was just following my teacher, and I also got lost. At this, everyone looked towards Naruto, who simply flipped the next page of the book as everyone's sweat dropped, as Kakashi's eyes smiled. You should follow your, you can say, superiors. Good work, Naruto. As Naruto only smiled, nodded at that by reading towards the book, while on the other hand, Kakashi was trying to, you can say, get a peek at the book. After all, that is the 3rd volume of the Ichichi Paradise, and Kakashi has only 2nd volume. After all, 3rd volume is not available at the moment, as someone bought the only copy, which was Naruto, as he was not liking that, as he was trying to get the peek on that. As Kushina sighed, not wanting to get into this, as she said, alright, that is enough. We have finally decided to do a test for the Genin test, as then Mito said, alright mom, let's just start this test, I'm already pretty hungry. As Kakashi smirked at that, as he looked towards all of them, they were pretty starving, and then he looked towards Naruto, who was, you can say, eating buns and all by putting the book in front of his face, but clearly eating something, as Kakashi's sweat dropped, as he could not see the face of Naruto, as no one was able to do so. While on the other hand, Kushina was not liking that mask and cursing Kakashi and his rubbing on her baby boy, as she said, alright team, let us start the bell test. As she looked towards Kakashi, as she said, well, I'll be only observing you guys, and your task will only be to take this bell from Kakashi, as Kakashi pulled out 4 bells. As this confuses the team, as I said, as Sakura said, but Kakashi sensei, we are 5 people, there are only 4 bells. As Kakashi said, well, that's the purpose of the test. One of you is definitely going back to the academy. As at this, all of them were pretty surprised, but then all 4 of them smirked by looking towards Naruto, as Sasuke was thinking, I'm an Uchiha elite, there is no way I'm going back to the academy. I deserve that bell and I will get it. After all, I am an Uchiha elite. While on the other hand, Menma was smirking, it seemed that the loser luck finally has ran off. There is no way he's going to pass this, and I'm obviously the son of 4th Hokage, so there is no way I'm going to fail. As Mito was smirking, I'm the Konoichi of the year, and there's no way I'm going to lose to anyone. After all, I'm the child of prophecy. Both Menma and Mito were thinking that, as Sakura was thinking, as she was thinking, what could she actually think? Well, Naruto's a baka, and there's no way he's going to pass, and I'm the second to the Konoichi of the year, way stronger than Naruto baka. After all, he's a weakling, and everyone knows it, so he's going back to the academy. While on the other hand, Kushina and Kakashi had sweat drop. They could easily hear the thoughts of these people by just looking towards their face, and they were wondering if all 4 of them are crazy. Naruto was the rookie of the year, and you can say the skills he showed, knocking out Mizuki in the test without any trouble whatsoever, and Mizuki was a Chunin level shinobi, and not even Menma could easily knock him out at the ease that Naruto did so, as well as all the details they actually have on Naruto. There's no way. Even Kakashi was thinking of taking Naruto a bit seriously in this fight, but still hoping that the reports he actually got were a bit over exaggerated. Otherwise, Naruto is easily a Jonin level shinobi. But he simply shook his head. Alright team, are you guys ready? As all four of them nodded, as Kakashi smiled. Alright, let's begin. As all four of them simply went off. As they smiled, as Kushina went into the tree ready to absorb the battle while on the other hand Kakashi was still reading the book. Kushina wanted to burn that book right then and there, but she thought that it would be, you can say, intrigue all the other Genin, so that thinking that Kakashi is underestimating them, so they might attack him. So it is a good tactic. As then she was surprised to see one person was still there reading the book. As then Kakashi looked towards Naruto. Naruto, why are you still here? Don't you want to pass? As Naruto looked towards Kakashi, as he blinked one time, as Kakashi blinked, and then Naruto blinked 2 more times, as Kakashi did the same thing, as Kushina had a sweat drop, wondering if these two are actually brothers, as she simply shook her head and said, damn it Kakashi, you are rubbing on my Naruto-kun, as she thought her about her baby boy and all, as and cursing Kakashi that how much he has changed Naruto into himself, as like if they were brothers or something like that. Even though Kushina does consider Kakashi as her children, after all Kakashi was there when he was just a kid and Kushina was like a mother to him as well. But still, as Kakashi looked towards Naruto, so Naruto, why are you not going away? As Naruto simply shrugged. Well, there's no point of running. If you can easily sense all of those stupid fools, I can also sense them. So there's no way someone as experienced as you do not know where they actually are. So there's no point in running like that. As Kakashi I smiled. Oh really? You can sense them. So mind telling me? As Naruto simply shrugged. Well, you already know. Sakura is under that bush. Sasuke is on the tree. Menma and Nito are also on the trees. Right there and there. As Kakashi was impressed, that was pretty impressive. Someone as inexperienced as Naruto was able to sense, wondering if Naruto is a sensor or something like that. As he looked towards Naruto and said, so Naruto, what is your plan? Come, if you are not running, then let's see how strong you actually are. As Naruto only smiled at that. Well, I could fight, but we can also make a trade. As Kakashi blinked a little and said, a trade? What are you talking about, Naruto? As Naruto simply shrugged and said, well, this is the 3rd volume of the Ichigo Paradise. You already know that it is only one in the market at the moment, and for 2 months there is no volume which is coming. As Kakashi's eyes widened as well as Kushina, as Naruto said, how about it? In return of the bell, you can have this. As Kakashi was now holding back all of his will, as he could not even control his hand, which was rushing towards the book, ready to grab it and ready to give Naruto the bell. You can say, well, this is pretty, you can say, funny moment if you just imagine it in your head. And yeah guys, this is the disclaimer about it and how I make my what ifs. These are the laws which applies as while on the other hand Kakashi gulped a little. He was using his full willpower to hold himself back but losing miserably, as Kushina was looking towards Kakashi if he's actually going to make the trade, as Naruto pointed a book towards Kakashi and put a hand towards the bell. As Kakashi I smiled. Well Naruto, one thing is for sure, that you have good. As Kakashi was thinking, this is the only volume of the Ichigo Paradise. For 2 months I cannot get that book, but I want to read it. I've already read Ichigo Paradise volume 2 for 100 times. No, I want the next book. Yeah, no, but I cannot give him the bells. No, well, he is the great shinobi and he do have great skills in the negotiation, so that could be considered as a shinobi skill. Pretty impressive. But no, I have to test his skills, but it can also be considered as a skill, right? These were the inner battle which was going on the head of Kakashi, as everyone was looking towards them, not hearing what was going on, but still pretty, you can say, confused, as Kushina was wondering if Kakashi is actually considering it. As Kakashi I smiled. Well Naruto, you have proven one thing, that you have pretty good negotiation skills, so your offer is accepted and you proven your skills. So here's the bell. As Kushina's, you can say, sweat drop at that if he's actually going to give the bell to Naruto as Kakashi picked one of the bell and said, "Here it is, Naruto, and give me the book." As Naruto smiled, as Kakashi gave Naruto the bell, as Naruto gave Kakashi the Ichichi Paradise Volume 3, as Kakashi looked towards the book, as then suddenly a Genjutsu was formed all around Kakashi as if he was in a garden of flowers, as flowers were everywhere, as everyone's sweat dropped at that, as Kakashi was kissing the book over and over again and grabbing it like a fangirl. As he was smiling, as Kushina landed beside Kakashi. "Kakashi, you baka!" As she grabbed Kakashi and said, "What did you do? What did you give him the bell?" As Kakashi said, he does have great negotiation skills, Kushina-sama, and that could be considered a shinobi skill. So, I think that he is ready to be a Genin." As Kushina's sweat dropped, "That is not how it works, you baka!" As Kakashi simply scratched the back of his head. "Well, considering that I am a shadow clone, so that is just a clone of the bell." As Kushina looked towards the bell, as she looked towards Naruto. "Well, Naruto-kun, I'm sorry. It seemed that you got tricked." As Kakashi was smiling, as Naruto only smiled back and said, "Well, considering that I am a clone as well, so that is also the clone." As Kakashi's eyes widened, as Naruto bell simply poof into smoke, as Kakashi's eyes widened, as Kakashi's book also poof into smoke, as Kakashi let out a scream, "No!" As he also got poof into smoke, as after some time Kakashi landed in front of Naruto as he said, "Naruto, that was not fair. Do you have no honor?" As by pointing a finger towards Naruto, as Naruto simply shrugged, "We are shinobis. Honor is for samurais." After saying that, he poof away, as Kakashi was now mumbling about something, unfair brats or something like that. As Kushina's sweat dropped, as he said, "Well, Kakashi, I think that you should start testing the kids, right?" As Kakashi nodded, as he went off to deal with other, you can say, shinobis and all. As Kakashi went off against Sasuke, as this battle goes the same, as Sasuke was under the ground. As for Sakura, he simply put her into the Genjutsu. As Kushina was watching this, as she said, "Mikoto-san is strong, but he's way too much arrogant. I just only hope that he grows up like Itachi, otherwise if he were to grow up like Fugaku, I just don't want to think about it." As she had a shiver going through her spine, that arrogant bastard, as she thought in her mind. And then next, it was Menma, as she was watching the battle going on, as Menma make a Rasengan ready to slam it into Kakashi, thinking that, as he said, "Kakashi Nisan, you're not going to win this. I'm going to get that bell. After all, I'm the child of prophecy." As he tried to slam the Rasengan into Kakashi, but Kakashi grabbed his hand and moved it around and then slammed him into the ground, making the Rasengan explode on his hand, sending Menma flying. As Kakashi sighed, "Well, little brother, your arrogance is going to get the better of you. If you were to fight like this, even with the Rasengan, you're not going to win this." As Menma gritted his teeth, he did not like when anyone give him lectures like this. He does not even like when his own father give him lectures like these. As then suddenly several chains rushed towards, you can say, Kakashi. Kakashi jumped around, dodging the chains as Mito arrived. As she said, "Alright, Kakashi Nisan, you are not going to win this." As she rushed towards Kakashi, as then a battle happens. But in the end of the day, both of them were underground. As Kakashi said, "Well, 4 done. Let's see where's the other one." As he started to rush back into the clearing, and then suddenly his eyes widened as he ducked under a cake which was ready to claim his head. As Kakashi's eyes widened, the speed of the cake was way too much. It could have easily snapped his neck if he was off guard. As then Kakashi jumped back, as then suddenly several kunais were rushing towards him as he was ready to deflect them, but suddenly all of them started to, you can say, multiply into hundreds or thousands. As Kakashi said, "What? Shuriken Jutsu?" Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, as he simply jumped out of the way, as all of them were slammed into the ground. As Kakashi looked around, as he said, well, it definitely is going to be Naruto. Let's see how much skills he actually have, and if the reports were actually true about him." As then Naruto landed in front of Kakashi, as Kakashi said, "So, are you ready, Naruto, to get these bells?" As Naruto looked towards Kakashi, and for some time, well, to be honest, I already know the main purpose of this test. As Kakashi looked towards Naruto, and what would that be? As Naruto said, "Pretty simple, it was teamwork, wasn't it?" As Kakashi I smiled at Naruto as he said, so you were able to figure it out, huh? So why did you not try it? As Naruto simply shrugged, you already know. Sasuke is a brooding Uchiha. His pride is way too much. And Sakura is a fangirl. Mito is also a fangirl, though a bit strong thanks to the training. But both Menma and Mito are way too much arrogant to work with anyone else who they consider not their equal. While on the other hand, Kushina was watching as well as listening to all of this. She had a sad expression on her face as then Kakashi smiled and said, that is unfortunate, but you do know that without teamwork you cannot pass. As Naruto simply shrugged. Well, teamwork can also be considered if I were to rescue my teammates. As Kakashi looked towards Naruto, as he said, well, that could be considered as teamwork, but still, you have not rescued them. As Naruto simply shrugged. Someone who can make thousands of shadow clones. You honestly believe that I cannot rescue them, huh? Or what you makes you believe that I have already not done it? As Kakashi tried to sense the other four as well as Sakura being knocked out, but he could not sense them. As he said, so you're able to rescue them, but I wonder where they are. As Naruto pulled out a scroll, here they are. As Kakashi's eyes widened, he said, what? You stored them into the story scroll? But how? As Naruto simply shrugged, well, my own creation in the sealing arts, but still, they would have in the way, so saving them could also be considered as a teamwork on my part, but it does not matter either way, because I'm going to get the bells. As Kakashi said, you may be strong, Naruto, let's see what you can actually do, pulling out his Sharingan, as because of the speed of the kick, and after that, when Naruto simply vanished, was really impressive, as then Naruto smirked at that, as he said, if you say so, sensei, as Naruto simply vanished into the yellow flash, as Kakashi's eyes widened, as he looked around to see when he threw multi Shuriken Jutsu, as his eyes widened, as all of them had the tag of teleportation on them, as Kushina's eyes also widened. She never thought that Naruto has that technique, but how? As no one taught him, as at the thought she was saddened a little, but still curiosity was getting the better of her, as Kakashi barely ducked under a kick, but then Naruto simply vanished once again, and next moment Kakashi met with a punch to his gut, sending him flying upward, as Kakashi quickly go through and side fast strike, get fireball jutsu, throwing the fireball towards the, you can say, kunai, but Kakashi's eyes widened when a kunai was in front of him. His eyes widened when Naruto teleported at that, as then Naruto quickly was already completing the hand signs and said, fast strike, Phoenix Lock Jutsu, as several fire rushed towards Kakashi. Kakashi quickly substituted. But still, his, you can say, jacket was burned a little as he landed, as he was huffing a little. He said, what? Damn it. As then Naruto smirked, you are already in my vision, Kakashi. As Kakashi's eyes widened when Naruto took a stand, as Kushina was wondering what Naruto is actually doing, as Naruto smirked. As Kushina said, but that is not possible, only Hyugas with Byakugan can do that. As Naruto smirked at Kakashi, 2 palms, 4 palms, 6 palms, 8 palms, 12 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 8 trigrams, 64 palms. As Kakashi met with all of these attacks, though he was able to dodge most of them, but still, he was utterly shocked as well as caught off guard, as Kakashi was sent flying into the tree, as 32 of his chakra points were, you can say, blocked. After all, Naruto does not have the Byakugan, so he cannot block all of them. As Naruto quickly go through hand style, wind cutter, as then Naruto slam his hand into the ground, as then several, you can say, wind blade rushed towards Kakashi. As Kakashi's eyes widened with the remaining of his chakra, he substituted, but he was not able to, as he substituted away, as he was huffing pretty badly, and Sharingan was costing him his, you can say, as chakra, as Kakashi tried to go through hand sign, as he said, damn it, I have to end this battle, as he quickly go through hand sign once again, as he said, wind style, wind bullets, try to make some distance between Naruto and himself, but he was in utter shock when ground underneath him simply exploded and a fist was slammed into Kakashi's face, as Kakashi was sent flying into the tree, slamming into him, breaking the tree, as Kakashi was now huffing and puffing pretty badly. Half of his chakra points were blocked. On top of it, he was using, you can say, Sharingan, but he was not able to see when Naruto arrived. As Naruto said, as you know, look underneath, Kakashi. As Kakashi only I smiled at Naruto as he got knocked out. As while on the other hand, Kushina was in utter shock, as she doesn't even know how to even explain her utter shock, Naruto not only used, you can say, Hyuga's technique of 8 trigrams, 64 palms. On top of it, he used the flying Raijin, and in just 2 or 3 Chusus, he defeated Kakashi. Though she could consider that Kakashi was holding back, but still, as she was pretty surprised and in utter shock, but on the other hand, she saw the progress of Man Man Mito, and they could be considered as low tunings at their max, but still, as Naruto was not trained by any one of them, she was having hard time believing the reports which Orochimaru given to them, but still, at this point, she has no choice other than to believe those reports, as Naruto is easily a Jonin level shinobi, as he was able to take down Kakashi even though Kakashi was holding back, but still, as after some time Kakashi finally woke up as Naruto slammed the, you can say, scroll down, and then in a puff of smoke, as Menma, Mito, as well as Sasuke and Sakura were there, as they were pretty dizzy, as they started to wake up, as then Sakura screamed, "My Sasuke-kun!" as she screamed at the top of her lung, as she still remembered the Kenchutsu, as everyone was almost deaf after that, as Naruto simply was looking towards his book. Kushina was wondering how did he even tolerated that, as then suddenly a, you can say, paper slipped out of his ear, as Kushina was now looking towards Naruto, as if he already knew that she would scream like that, and he was protecting himself. As Mito also screamed, "Shut it, forehead! What is going on here? That Kakashi sensei, he knocked us out!" As Menma was also grunted, as Sasuke was wondering how could this even be possible? He is an Uchiha elite. There's no way that anyone could knock him out like that. It is not even possible. Yeah, that must be a Genjutsu. As he was wondering that, as Kushina sighed. She was already healing Kakashi, as everyone looked towards Kakashi, surprised he was knocked out, as Mito said, it seemed that after our fight, he must have gotten weaker. Yeah, it seemed that we did defeat him, right, brother? As Menma was smirking, as Kushina simply shook her head, no, it is not that. He defeated you pretty easily, as both of them were dumbstruck at that, as she said, but mom, as Kushina said, that is enough. As then Sakura said, then what happened to Kakashi sensei? She was warning, she did not get the bell. But how? She is an elite. After all, she's going to be the Mrs. Uchiha in the future. So there's no way that she's going back to the academy. But she did not get the bell. But how? It does not make sense to her. After all, according to her logic, she is going to be Mrs. Uchiha, and there is nothing in this world which could actually stop her in her path. And that was the logic of Sakura. Well, actually Sakura is pretty fitting for Sasuke, as both of them were fools. As Kakashi grunted as he opened his eyes, as he could feel that most of his chakra parts were once again active, and he was feeling not that exhausted as he sighed, as he looked down to see that bells were gone, as he looked towards Naruto, who was, you can say, reading the Ichi Paradise Volume 3, as Kakashi was now looking towards the book, and then towards Naruto, and then towards book, and then towards Naruto, as he sighed, wondering which was most interesting among both of them, as he simply shook his head. Well, as he looked towards Kushina, so what happened? As Kushina simply shrugged, as she stood up, well, the test is over, and it seemed that none of you have been able to get the bells, but before Menma and Mito could scream or say something like that, except Naruto-kun, as everyone in utter shock, as Menma said, what? He get the bells? But how? It is not possible. He's just a loser, a failure, right? As Kushina glared at Menma, telling him that one more word and he's visiting the hospital, as Menma gritted his teeth, as Mito was also pretty angry, as Sakura was glaring at Naruto, that how Naruto, Baka, get the bell, while on the other hand Sasuke was wondering, as he stood up, no, I refuse to believe that loser got the bells, it should be me and Uchiha elite. As then Kushina simply, you can say, looking towards her head and wondering if a headache is actually coming on her way, as she simply shook her head, as she said, alright, you clearly did not get the purpose of this test, didn't you? As Kakashi spoke up, well, allow me to explain. In the shinobi world, who break the rules are trash, but who abandon their friends are worse than trash. Did you honestly believe that after just passing the exam, you will be able to take on a Jonin? While looking towards Naruto, who was not even paying any attention, inside Kakashi was wondering, well, he did take me down, but still, that does not count. He looked towards them. You should have worked together, and that was the main purpose of this test. But Sakura screamed and said, but Kakashi sensei, there were only 4 bells, and you said that. whoever will not get the bell will go back to the academy. As Kakashi said, well, that was just so that you can separate and fight among themselves. We want to see that if you will follow our rules and to work together, or if you guys just go on your own to do your own thing, and it proves that you guys did not work together, but only one person got the bells. Though I'm pretty surprised, Naruto. How did you perform the techniques? As Naruto not even looking towards Kakashi, even Kushina was pretty interested in it. As Naruto said, well, that as Kushina as well as Kakashi was now paying attention. As Naruto looked towards them, that is a secret. By eyes smiling at both of them, as both of them were on the ground now. As Kushina was swearing that she is going to kill Kakashi. As Kakashi was warning something bad is coming towards him. As his sixth sense was telling him that. As Naruto started to read, as then Sasuke was glaring daggers at Naruto. How the dope got this strong? It should be him and Uchiha Elite. As Manma was wondering that how Naruto is trying to get the attention of his parent that should belong to them, not this loser. As well, guys, here I will leave this part. Hope you guys enjoy it. In the next part, we will cover the Zabuza arc and some in middle between things if you guys enjoy it. So yeah, guys, well, guys, if just tell me that if you guys want the on to the point thing, that video will just be 30 minutes or 12 minutes, or if you guys enjoy the video just I make half an hour or 40 minutes video. So just tell me in the comment section and I will consider it, as some people were telling me that. So that is that. If you guys enjoy that things like that, then it will be no trouble to me. As a matter of fact, it will help me, as it will be less effort to me, but still that is up to you. And yeah, guys, if you guys want the next part of this series, then the like goal is going to be 250 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.